So what with Shazam being big with superpowers and Little being big in reverse, is anybody else getting a bit worried that we're actually going to get a full-on big reboot? Because I don't want to see that.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Starring amongst others Regina Hall, Issa Rae and Marcy Martin, directed by Tina Gordon off of a screenplay that she wrote alongside Tracy Oliver. This is my review for Little. Little is the story of Jordan Sanders. She was bullied at school and she became a pretty horrible person when she grew up, taking some of her parents' advice and really running with it in the wrong direction. She's hideous. She's a hideous person and she doesn't let anybody into her life. Her hideousness gets the better of her when she's transformed somehow by a girl who I guess is a witch. Like, we never really elaborate on that, but she's transformed into a little girl, the same age that she was when she was tormented at school, and now she has to learn to readjust her life to be the person that she once was. So yeah, Little, as I say, it's reverse big. It's big backwards, adult turning into a child, and there's a lot of comedy potential that can be mined from that. Unfortunately, Little isn't a very good comedy. I'll get that out of the way straight off the bat. I didn't laugh really in this one at all. I think maybe once got kind of a mild laugh, and there were a few smiles throughout, admittedly, at some of the jokes that the script delivered, but overall it was missing the vital humour that was needed to make this a comedy. This, as I say, was not very funny, and that may come across that I'm just going to slag this movie off for the next couple of minutes, but even though it wasn't funny, even though to me it failed as a comedy, I actually still quite enjoyed it. And that, for me, doesn't come down to the script. It doesn't come down to the direction, and certainly not the fact it's a comedy. It comes down to the performances. Two in particular. Regina Hall is star billing here, but she's barely in the movie because of the concept. Because she's the character that turns into a child, so she's not going to be there for that much. But when she is, I mean, she commits to the movie. The biggest problem, I think, with the character of Jordan, and it really caused some issues for the first sort of 20 minutes or so of this film until the transformation happened, is that Jordan is so unlikable that she's just a dick. There isn't anything about her really that makes her endearing to the audience at all. She's far too hideous. I mean, I mentioned Shazam in the intro. It's a similar kind of thing. They needed this character to be somebody who needs to go through some kind of transformation and change, but they made him so unbelievably horrible to people. Like, I mean, in this day and age, some of the way she treats her employees, like, wouldn't stand the light of day now. She actually hits them and berates them and abuses them. She's hideous. Horrible person. I didn't want nice things to happen for her. They took that a little bit too far. But when she is changed into the child, and Marcy Martin takes over the role, that's when this movie, for me, comes to life. Not in a comedy way, as I say. Not that funny. But performance-wise, and sort of my investment in the story, it got more and more with the more we saw this child. Because Marcy Martin is brilliant in this movie. As I say, she doesn't get very many funny lines, but she's got such a charisma about her. And she's able to really make it seem like we're seeing an adult in a child's body. Like her mannerisms, the way she acts, the way she talks, the way she treats people. She seems like an adult. It's an amazing performance from her. This movie would have been an absolute disaster, I think, without somebody who's able to do the material as well as she did in it. But thankfully they got her, and yeah, she's easily the best part of this film. It's why I didn't end up disliking it overall. I'm kind of lukewarm on this. Like, bits of it I like, bits of it I don't. But I enjoyed it. I didn't regret watching it, and that was largely down to that performance. And the same with Issa Rae as well. She plays Jordan's assistant, April, who hates her job and her life because of how much a dick her boss is. But the double act between her and Jordan once she's a child is just brilliant. The two actors bounce off each other extremely well. As I say, some of the comedy does feel forced. There's a whole section here where they're singing for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why that happened. There's many actual moments like that, many kind of plot threads that don't go anywhere, but these two are so strong together on the screen that I just enjoyed spending time with them. There's a real heart in the story whenever these two are on the screen together. Like, I want the character of April to do well. I may not want the main character here to come out of this alright, but I'd certainly wanted her to, and it's just because of how well she's performed. She seems like somebody who just needs that opportunity to be able to break through and become something more than she is, but it's the character of Jordan who's standing in her way, and sort of as that relationship develops over the course of the film, I personally think it was done in a relatively believable way, or as believable as it can be with a plot like this. It worked for me. But it's got to be said, even though I did enjoy a lot of this, it doesn't really offer anything unexpected. It follows exactly the kind of path that you would expect it to. There's no surprises along the way. It doesn't seem to take any chances or any risks. And it seems a bit muddled as well. As I say, there's plot threads here that don't really go anywhere, or they feel forced in. They don't feel like they fit in this particular movie. There's a lot of that here. But then saying that, we do get nice scenes. Like, I enjoyed the character at the school. I enjoyed this little group of friends that she hung around with that I wish we got to see more of. I liked that. It was a nice element to it. I just wish for a comedy that it could have actually have been funny. And I don't think it was just me on this one, because there was very few laughs in the screen. And it was a fairly busy screen, but very few laughs. I've heard a couple, I think, throughout the whole time. So yeah, just a script that, for a comedy, really does fail, but it brings enough sort of heart to the story. And as I say, those performances are so strong that I can almost sort of forgive the fact it's an unfunny comedy, because I enjoyed spending time with at least those two characters as much as I did. And they do take up the screen for most of the film, which is a good thing. It very rarely moves away from them, and the movie's all the better for it. I'm going to give Little a 6 out of 10. Have you seen Little yet? If so, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Do look out for more reviews coming soon, including the new one in the Conjuring universe that should be up on Sunday. I forget what the name is, The Curse of Lala something or other. Review for that coming soon. Avengers Endgame is next week as well. Really excited for that one. So yeah, do look out for them. Do hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of them. You can follow me on Twitter @JoeJulians if you want to come and talk to me on there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.